Hello, firebugs. So today I'm going to mix it up a little bit and I am going to dive into the rose path first instead of starting with the fire path. Yep. So let's get there and share some moments of healing together. So for the rose path today, I want to remind you that your softness is a spell. Yeah. Have you ever considered that your softness, your literal act of rest, can be its own ritual for your life, for yourself, for your well being, for your healing? I know that so many of us have been programmed and conditioned and raised and mentored and modeled and whatever other word you want to give it in the way of doing things, being busy, fixing things, making it happen, grinding, hustling, going hard, all the things, right? And though we've seen a narrative change, in the most recent years, especially in social media, and it's good because we are talking more about less hustle and less grind and less force. There's still an underlying current that so many of us are having to figure out how to deal with, and that is what is ingrained within us. See, the thing is, no matter what is going on externally, if the internal does not change, you're going to always be finding yourself back at set zero, whatever that space is for you. So even if you're seeing all the videos and all the things telling you how great it is to change and rest and go to therapy and take care of yourself and exercise and eat healthy and whatever else you may be consuming content wise and whatever other things you may hear from people, if your set point, if your homeostasis is focused on this is what it has to look like, and that is different than what you're hearing, you're going to go back to that every single time. That's your safe place. That's what you know. It's familiar. It's kind of like the old saying, the devil that I know is better than the devil that I don't, right? Well, kind of, that same thought process of, that sounds great that they're talking about rest. It sounds great, Jay, that you're talking about rest. But I don't know how to rest. Right? How many times have you said that to yourself? I know I have. Somebody's teaching me something, they're sharing something, and I'm like, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden, yeah, I'm back to where I was, not because I didn't want to change, not even because I didn't do some work, but because my set point didn't change. And so I found myself looping over and over again until I started digging deeper to figure out, okay, why am I circling back to this same thing over and over? Why am I still doing this same habit that I worked so hard to change? And sometimes you've done all the work and you truly did change, but you healed deeper and exposed a different level of it, a deeper level of it, a different variation of that thing. Doesn't mean you didn't do the work, doesn't mean it didn't work. It means now you're in this place to address it in a different way. And so what I want to ask you to consider today is, how can your softness be your rebellion against all the things that you thought you should have done, against all the things that people told you you had to do? How can your rest today be an act of rebellion that is solely focused on nurturing you, taking care of you, protecting you, providing for you, keeping you safe, healthy, and whole? How can you use downtime? Because rest isn't always sleeping, right? Sometimes it is napping and sometimes it is sleep, but sometimes it's going for a walk, as I've talked about in some of the other videos. Sometimes it is doing something else in a different way, but allowing your system to recalibrate. You're not pushing as hard, you're not forcing, you're allowing yourself to receive, you're allowing yourself to go with the flow, to be in alignment with what you truly desire, to become a vibrational match with what you desire, instead of feeling like you got to be at war 24/7 and in warrior mode. Okay, that's what I want you to consider today. And I want to ask you this: what does it look like for you to encourage softness in yourself in the face of your old conditioning? Let that be your radical act as well. Because yeah, sometimes radical act is listen, it's beating the hell out of something or somebody. Let's just be honest about that. And sometimes it is doing something drastically different. What can you do today that is drastically different and still nourishes your soul? I'm going to leave you with that and go ahead and segue into the fire path. And today, Firebugs, I want to talk to you about forgiveness. Now, a lot of times we hear that word, and depending on how you were raised, especially if you were in, specific religious paths, that may not feel like a great word to you. Been there, done that. And I get it. However, I would ask you to consider this. Are you able to change what that word means for you? Are you able to change what it means to enact forgiveness for yourself and possibly someone else? I did that years ago, and it was a game changer for me. I decided that forgiveness had nothing to do with the other person, and it was all about me. It was about my freedom, my healing, my well-being, my ability to thrive and enjoy life, to be set free from any bullshit, any false imprisonments that I put myself in, or that I'd allowed other people to put me in because of the hurt that they had inflicted upon me. I decided that I would no longer give anyone else the opportunity to have that much control in my life, for me to stay in pain because I was still upset or hurt by their actions, by their betrayal, by their whatever, right? And when I did that, it didn't mean that everything disappeared overnight, but it made it so much easier for me to work through my own healing and to recognize that I truly could let go of a lot of the memories and experiences that it caused harm. I didn't have to hold them anymore. I didn't have to keep judging myself or beating myself up. I didn't have to stay filled with so much rage and anger at them that it hindered me. So consider that for yourself. And I'm not saying that you've got to embrace forgiveness. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But think about it. And if forgiveness isn't the word for you, feel into your own self. Sit with yourself. Listen to your inner being, your inner wisdom, your higher self, your oversoul, your spirit team, whatever you work with, God, Goddess, Source, etc. And see if there's a different word that resonates for you. See if there's a different word that makes sense but still gives you peace and a sense of relief. Sit with it today. Use it. Let that be your superpower for today. Allow your fire to help you heal. Because truly, forgiveness for me has been healing. It's been an act of radical healing in my life. What could it possibly do for you? What can your fire offer you today by helping you burn through that stuff and let go of betrayal and resentment, or disappointment and sadness, or rejection, or anything else that you've been holding on to? You get to decide that it's time to be free. And again, in my mind, it doesn't mean that you're releasing that person. Listen, you're releasing yourself. They are still subject to whatever is going to tear that ass up. Because I do believe in karma. I've always said, since I got into this journey and started embracing forgiveness, I've always said that sometimes God was like, get him, girl. And there were certain things that I might be allowed to do in my spiritual practices, And other times, God's source spirit was like, nah, we got this. You sit this one out. And they would tear that ass up. You feel me? So don't think that because you choose to let it go, that your spirit team isn't fighting on your behalf. They absolutely are. What is it that you believe? Are you love and light and you feel like let love handle it? Are you a little bit more radical and you like, listen, they can get this sacred rage? I'm more of a sacred rage person, but I want you to figure out where you lie with it and allow that to guide your path. Okay? And of course, last but not least, the diamond path. I want to ask you today, what are you avoiding? Where is your truth being hidden, blocked, stepped on because you're avoiding it? Are you ready to meet it? Are you ready to embrace it? Are you ready to speak your truth? Are you ready to stand unapologetically as yourself? See, clarity comes when we embrace what's within. What is within reflects what is outward. And that comes by speaking our voice, sharing our voice, speaking our truth, speaking our wisdom, letting our voice disrupt the ethers, letting our voice disrupt the energetic patterns. Standing in our power unapologetically, not backing down because someone else disagrees with us or wants to do it a different way. We stand based on what we know, what we feel inwardly is our truth, is our realness. We stand on that. We don't back down. We don't give it up just because somebody else said so. Fuck them people. First, second, and third. Fuck them people. You get to decide what your path looks like. You get to decide what comes next. That doesn't mean that you can control every single thing, but yes, you absolutely can control how you respond to things. And a big part of that is determining where your truth lies. What is it that you need to see? What is it that you need to hear, to know, to embrace, to honor, to understand, to acknowledge? What is it that you need to share with other people? And what is it that you need to hold close and play close to the vest between you and your spirit team for now? Being able to do that more intentionally, to operate from that space more intentionally of this I share, this I hold, this I speak, this is just for me, etc. Being able to operate in that place more intentionally and purposefully goes a long way to settling into your body and feeling safe and truly starting to live the life that you desire, that feels good for you. So that's what I've got for you guys today. As I remind you each day, drop into the comments and grab the link if you haven't already done so. If this is the first video that you're hearing, be sure and go back and grab the replays as well. Listen to those. But use that link to hop on over to the shop and download the ritual path that makes sense for you. What I would love for you to do is also give yourself grace and peace. So if you're feeling called from one path to the next, depending on the day or the time or the circumstances that are happening, go with the flow and allow yourself to trust the process. You may have to shift and pivot between them, and that's okay. It is all good, okay? If you are inclined to do so, make sure that you browse around the shop because there's probably something else that's going to speak to you as well. And wherever you are, be safe. I don't know if you can hear it, but here it's pretty stormy and I can hear the thunder in the background. So I'm glad I got this done, and I am going to go ahead and get charged up and prepared just in case, in case the power goes out. I've got plenty of lights and candles and all the things, so we're going to be good to go. I love you guys. Thank you for being in this space with me, and I will see you in the next videos. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share.